At the end of this video, we'll take a look at MadRamp's innovative pivoting ramp system, the safer, easier way to transport your ATVs and snowmobiles. Stick around. Before we begin, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our friends at the historic Lancaster Motel in Lancaster, New Hampshire. The Lancaster Motel has been serving snowmobilers since the 60s, and they are the perfect eastern trail riding destination for snowmobilers young and old. The Lancaster Motel is right on Corridor Trail 5 in Lancaster, New Hampshire, with plenty of parking for vehicles, sleds, and trailers. Plus, the Lancaster Motel is within walking distance of Crane's Snowmobile Museum, plus restaurants, shopping, entertainment, and more. Click the link in the description to learn more about the Lancaster Motel. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here tonight. Now, if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Just let me know where you're viewing this from so we can make sure that everything is working properly. I'm going to give you folks a minute or so to do that, and then we're going to be getting to our first guest. Let me show you what we have on tap tonight. In a few minutes, we're going to have Jim Leighton on. He's going to show us some vintage Ski Doos, and you can see there on the screen some of the other things we have. Also wanted to let you know that we are simulcasting in 3 different places tonight. First, of course, is the Vintage Snowmobile Lovers Facebook page. Also, we are on, let me find the card here, Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles Facebook group. Now, this is a great place to view and post if you like anything with a motor. This could be cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, snowmobiles, anything like that. It's free to view and post on there. We are also simulcasting on the Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles YouTube channel. So if you like videos about anything with the motor, this could be cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, snowmobiles, anything like that. If you like that type of video, click the link in the description after this podcast. It'll take you to the Wheels, Keels, and Snowmobiles YouTube channel. So let's not waste any time. Let's meet Jim Leighton. Let me bring him to the stream here. How you doing tonight, Jim?
Good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. I appreciate your coming on. Now, we've been chatting. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Great event. Glad to be part of it.
Well, glad. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. Now, you mentioned earlier you've got some vintage Ski Doos you'd like to show us. Are you ready to give us some show and tell on that?
Yeah, we can do that. You try to turn the camera around here so we can go through it.
Sure.
Remember how this is all done here in front?
That's all right. Take your time.
All right, there's my feet. All
Sure.
right, so we'll start with a sled that I just brought in. It's not a Ski Doo, but it's pretty close.
I remember those.
1971. I'm actually doing this for my cousin. He was looking for something that his grandparents used to ride, and that happened to be one of them. So we picked up 8 of them to see if we can make 2. So
Wonderful.
starting off, this one's a single cylinder sled. It's got the slide rail suspension. It's kind of a Johnny Cash sled. Got a 400
Nice.
gallon single motor and a slide rail suspension on it. So,
Sure.
but it'll be a fun sled when we get it together and get it on the trail.
Nice.
So, yep.
Now, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second, Jim.
Yep.
We've got a lot of comments coming in from people saying that they can see us and hear us. I'm going to ask them if they have questions for you to please
Sure.
post a comment. And as those come up, I'll read them and ask you the questions, and hopefully you have an answer for us.
Well, we'll try.
Wonderful. Yeah, please continue, Jim.
We'll do our best. So we'll go over. I got a few motors. That's a Sachs motor for one of these ski rules. That's a 340 SS motor. It's, I guess from what I understand, it's pretty desirable engine. I'm not much of a ski rule guy, so don't know a lot about them.
Sure.
Move on to my 66S motor with the twin carbs.
Nice.
Got the chassis of that down back. There's a motor from my 65. That's also with the chassis down back. The 64 motor and chassis are still together. They're all sitting in the trailer. We got
Nice.
a 440 TNT engine out of a 71 Ski Doo. We'll move over on. Here we go.
While you're going over there, Paul Bilodeau has made a comment. He said that's an oldie but a goodie. I'm not sure which of the engines or if it was the ski roll, but he likes what he's seeing. But please
Perfect.
continue.
We got a 292 Black Dot engine.
Nice.
This is a 71 340 TNT.
Yeah.
And this motor here was from one of the almost first racing sleds that my dad had, which I still have everything to. It just needs an awful lot of work. That's a 669. It has the dual carbs on it.
Nice.
So I've got that. I've got the whole sled. It just, like I said, it needs a lot of work, but it ain't going to go anywhere, even if I don't ever get a chance to fix it, just because, again, it's another one of his.
Yes.
We'll move over here. We've got a 340 Black Dot. It's a beaten up old machine that we like to race around with. I've done it some grass drags, and we've taken it on some ice drags, some radar runs. We try to run it in a little circuit that we have here, but it hasn't got much running in that circuit. But it's a fun little machine to have around. So it's a fun toy to play with.
Yeah, with that Black Dot, that's an interesting piece of history right there.
Yes. Yeah. So then here's my lineup that for some reason I'm very partial to the 1970 Olympics.
Yes.
Not sure why. I just love the bubble nose. I've always had a 1970 Olympic for the most part. As a kid, I remember, I think actually the first one that we had was a 69.
That's cool.
So this one is the one that I just got. I'm going to do hopefully a lot of work to this, picking up a seat. Going to probably put it together first, get it out running and playing it, and then we'll strip it down. And I think that may be one that I might take and really clean up and paint really well, and then just work my way across the line.
Yeah, that's a great foundation for a project.
Yep. Next one's the 335. And that's single cylinder, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the next one over is the 399, which is a twin.
Nice.
So,
Now, we do have some comments coming in. I'll interrupt you real quickly. Tom Peters, a mutual friend of ours, has come on. He's saying hello. He likes what he sees. And then Jeffrey Saunders says he has an Olympic as well.
Yes. There's a lot of these out there. They are so much fun to drive.
Yes. And they're iconic.
Yes. The 399, I got that out of a barn. The barn actually collapsed. I did have to find another Callan for it. and
Sure.
a steering post. But beyond that, everything else is totally original. The 335 I actually found in town here on somebody's backyard, covered in an old tarp that had been
Wow.
sitting there for years. That kind of averted me, and then I found it when the wind started tearing the tarp apart.
Wow.
This one is basically totally original, and the same with the 12.3. What you see is what it was when I picked it up just this fall.
Nice.
So those are my babies. I really, like I said, I really like the 70 lineup. We have quite a few different sleds when it all comes down to it. This one right here I got, and I'm holding on to for dear life for my granddaughter.
Yeah.
71 Kitty Cat, hanging in the rafters of my garage.
Wonderful.
Still has the original seat on it. It's in pretty good shape. So
Nice.
runs really well. So
Now, Jim, is that the first year they made the kitty cats?
What's that?
Is that the first year they made the kitty cats?
From what I understand, I believe that is the first year the kitty cat was made.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, and Brian Roberlard is on here. He's admiring your collection. He's a fellow Ski Doo enthusiast as well, and he says he likes your collection. So please continue.
Thank you. Yes. So in amongst those type of things, I like to kind of work my way around and have a few little toys of different sort that I can take to a show. And this is obviously probably things I've seen on the internet before, but it was something that come out of my head that a friend of mine helped me build. And essentially we took a little Murray mini bike. The front ski is often a 67 Ski-Doo chop down. The rear end is a double track, and that is often a Sears snowblower.
No kidding.
And the engine is often a big old, and I don't remember which snowblower, but the engine is a Kohler motor, often another old snowmobile. And we just kind of pieced it together and kind of made a fun little toy out of it. It's something that I can get on and drive around the grounds with at a show. And people just kind of look at it and go, wow, what is that thing?
Yeah, I bet that gets a lot of double and triple takes, and yeah, that's truly unique.
So that's that's one of the neat little toys that we are working with.
Wonderful. And Chuck Lako is on here too, and he's saying nice collection. So we've got a lot of people on here admiring what you have in your garage there.
So what I've got here tonight is a small handful of what we have between me and a friend of mine, and we're hoping to stick together a building locally here where we can house these things. Rather they look the way they look what you're seeing right now, or their sleds have been totally redone and look brand new. We have the kind of from one end of the spectrum to the other of something that we pulled off a rock pile to sleds that have been totally redone and brand new. And that is something that we're hoping to put into this. We kind of affectionately call it a museum, but obviously it won't really be a museum, but it'll be something that's local here for people if they wanted to come see it. But I think more or less we're really building it for ourselves to work on our sleds where we can all get together as friends and have fun and put things together. So we have some pretty unique stuff. My hopes is that maybe the next time that we talk, I can put together some of our factory race sleds that we have. And we can show those. We have some Blizzards. We've got some Articats, Snowjet, some different things like that they're pretty fun sleds. So the one of them is Tom Peters. He purchased it and rebuilt it. It's a 71 Blizzard 440.
Sure.
And the thing is literally brand new. It's never had fuel or oil in it. It's never run. When he rebuilt it to brand new spec and then left it
wow.
on a stand. Never been started. So it's a really cool type of thing to have. It matches my father's 71 797 Blizzard.
Sure.
Which you'll see when we do that. That's an original sled that he bought brand new from a local dealer when he was racing. And we'll go over that stuff at a time when we can kind of show those.
Nice. Now we've got David Crawford on here. He's complimenting you on that Mini. He really likes that. And he's also wondering about this museum project that you have going. He's wondering where that is.
We are looking to try to do something in Caribou, Maine.
Caribou, Maine.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
And I hope you'll come on
that's
every now and then and give us updates with your projects and the museum project and all of that.
we will. It's like I said, it's something that my buddy really is. He really enjoys it. He enjoys picking up these sleds, and we all enjoy getting together and rebuilding them and riding them. And so it started out to be a workshop, so everybody could be together, and it just turned into something that hopefully we're going to have the right building to kind of work on stuff, but also have everything lined up that that it's all there, and if somebody wanted to come see it, we could open the doors up and show it off.
Wonderful. So I imagine at first it would start as almost by appointment only, so to speak, and
it
at some
probably
point
would, yeah. And that
Sure.
may be what all it is going to be. If we can even get there, that's our hopes. You got to find the right building and have the right, to be able to do that,
Yeah.
but we do have to have a place for our sleds because there's quite a few sleds. So he's pretty diligently looking for something or going to do something. So eventually I'm hoping we'll have something that we can share with the public a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And if anybody viewing this knows of something in the Caribou, Maine area of a building that might be possibly suitable, definitely reach out to Jim and or to me even, and I'll relay that to Jim.
Yeah. So this going back to talking about this sled right here, the Black Dot, and the vintage racing. I think it probably for us here in Maine, it all extends to the One Lunger 100 in Turner, where they do the big single cylinder race every year that they've gone on
Sure.
for so long. And then there's a group that started a race circuit, and that race circuit has gone on for a few years now, and it extends from the single cylinders up to the twins and triples and whatever, and it's quite a circuit that runs from one end of Maine to the other. A lot of riders, a lot of fun. We jumped in on that a couple of years ago as a fundraiser for our cancer fund that we have in Limestone. So we've been raising money to help patients out that can't afford the gas, the hotel rooms, the food, the trips to go to Bangor, Portland, or Boston, or wherever they need to go. And we started that out and by doing a motorcycle ride, and then we got into doing a little few other fundraisers, and then we joined in with this race. And actually, this month here, we have dished out in the 5 or 6 years that we've been doing it. We dished out $100,000 in help for cancer patients.
That is impressive.
So that is something that we're pretty proud of. That we just got word on that's the money that we've raised over the years and helped people out. So that's
impressive, and that offers genuine help to people who really need it.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a website or anything for that fundraising effort?
We don't. We have a Facebook page. It's called Brian's Ride.
Brian's Ride. Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone is curious about that, search for Brian's Ride on Facebook if you're curious about that, and that would take you there. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. You've got a poster on the wall there. Please tell me more about that.
Okay, so this poster's my father's Blizzard. I took this picture here when in 2010 it was sitting in the gravel pit down back of the farm, and then in 2018 is when my father first got his hands back on it after the Kiefers had restored it, and I got it back from the Kiefers after it was totally done, and brought it home and surprised him with it. And so he's standing by it when it had been sitting forever, and then after the restore.
Wow! So before and after.
Yeah,
that's an impressive restoration.
It's a beautiful restoration. They did a wonderful job.
Yeah, for sure. That's really nice.
So if I can turn back around here, camera. Oop, there we are. All right. So I'm not sure if anybody's got anything else. that's kind of what I got here for tonight.
Yeah, I really appreciate your coming on. And David Crawford has commented, good work. He said it's really good work.
Thanks.
And yeah, I appreciate your coming on. And I hope you'll come back every now and then to show us more of your projects and keep us posted on the museum as well as the fundraising effort.
We will, and hopefully if we can come out of this and we can have our race in March, I definitely would be back on to let you know how that's going, and if it's gonna come around, that's quite a race, and maybe we can have a little bit of video from that here and there. And
yeah, I'd like to talk to you about that. Yeah, once we're offline, we'll see if we can make arrangements to do something live from that race.
Yep.
And once you have dates or any kind of arrangements, keep me posted on that, and we'll put it on here.
I will. I'll keep in contact with the operator of that from Tame the Track and see how he's coming with it, and we'll see how this whole COVID thing works out. And if we're, if it does work out and we can have a race, then I'll definitely get back with you on it.
Wonderful.
Hopefully sometime next month or maybe in February, we'll have some race sleds sitting somewhere where I can kind of do the same thing again.
Yeah, that would be great. We would love to see those, and I'm sure the audience would as well. And we've got more comments. David Crawford says thanks to Mike and Jim, and your friend and mine, Tom Peters, says this is great. He really likes it.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, great. Thanks for coming on, Jim. Have a wonderful evening.
All right, you too.
All righty, take care.
Yep, bye.
All righty, so let's change screens here. Actually, before we do that, we've got a whole lot of people that have come in here and made comments from the very beginning of the program, and I apologize that I've neglected you. So I'm going to go through those real quick. Flint Stone is talking about a 1980 Citation 3500 277 mod that he has. Kevin Blessy, Kevin is a regular on here, and we appreciate him coming on. He's here from Dayton, Minnesota. Thank you, Kevin, for coming on. And I think we're going to have him on a future podcast. We've been emailing behind the scenes, and I think at some point we might have him on. Flint Stone says that he's from Hudson Falls, and I love the wordplay on your name, Flint. We've got Dennis et Eveline Bastarac. I think that's French, and I'm certain I'm butchering it, but I thank you for coming on, Dennis. Thank you for giving us the thumbs up. Flint says he wish he had his Elan right now. Scott Verdon is here from Hudson, Michigan. David Crawford from Columbus, Indiana. Jesse Shanor, he says he can see us and hear us from Ranchester, Wyoming, out west. Wow, he might be one of the furthest west watching this right now. Also, Jeremy Love from Manitoba, that's out west as well. Lyle Ritter from Hatteras Island, North Carolina. Brian Robillard from Putnam, Connecticut. You may remember Brian from last week. He had a vintage Ski Doo on. Great guy. We'll probably have him on here on another episode sometime soon. Joe Zeinart from Hortonville, Wisconsin. Lyndon Dewey. Bill Lutz from Cranberry Lake, New York. Chris Goodrow from Haverhill, Massachusetts. Jeffrey Saunders from Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Al Simpson, greetings from Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Rich Milkey from Fond du Lake, Wisconsin. David Crawford is on. George Zandbelt from Winchester, Ontario. I think George has been on here a couple of times before. That looks really familiar. And if I am correct, George, that you are a regular viewer, I really appreciate your coming on. Tom Peters is on from Maine. We've been emailing today. I think we're going to be having Tom Peters on an episode in the new year. So do stay tuned for that. Brad Curtis, he says, glad you're doing this, Mike. With no shows in New York, this gets you into the vintage mode. Vintage snowmobile shows. Okay. And he's brought on a couple of his buddies to watch. So thank you, Brad, for bringing on some of your friends to watch. We really appreciate it. Well, this is great. This is great. Let's switch gears. Thank you, everyone, also for all of those comments. So we're now at the show and tell section. And I had some show and tell prepared for you. You heard me talk about Kevin Blessy a moment ago. Well, this is an image of a sled that Kevin Blessy sent me. This is owned by a friend of his, Tony Rainey, and it's a 1972 Rupp Nitro. And we're going to be bringing Kevin and his friend Tony on here sometime in the new year to show us some of their sleds and projects. Also, as part of show and tell, a gentleman I was just talking to today, in Newport, Vermont. James Roy, he's got a cool restoration he's working on. We're probably going to have him on at some point. But right now he's looking for an early 70s Ski Doo caboose. Any help with that would be great. And if you know of anything like that, leave a comment in the comment section. James is going to be monitoring that over the next few days, and he will find that and reach out to you if you make a comment to him. Also, we've got Terry Brown. Terry Brown is in need of an airbox shroud for a Yamaha SRX 440. Any and all information on where to find one of those would be great. So if you know of anything like that, leave a comment in the comment section, and Terry Brown is going to monitor these comments over the next few days, looking for comments that might be of help to him. So before we change screens, I also wanted to tell you about our website, VintageSnowmobileLovers.com. That's a great way to find some of our videos. This is a screenshot of it. You can see some of our videos, and if you scroll down, there's a whole bunch more. So let's get on to the next portion of the program. Now, we had Colin scheduled to come on with a 1969 Alouette wood sled, and unfortunately, he's not able to make it tonight. So we're going to talk about that in the new year. But that is a truly unique sled, and I look forward to bringing that to you. Likewise with David at OMC Warehouse. He's running late. I'm hoping he may come on by the end of the podcast to show us some things. He's got a second warehouse other than the one we did last week, the one we viewed last week, and he's got some more sleds he'd like to show us. So we're looking forward to having him come on. Now, in a moment, we're going to look at Kenneth Young being inducted into the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. But before we do, I wanted to tell you about these fancy schmancy hats that I had made. I'm trying to get it in front of the camera here. If you like this hat, I'm going to be making some more, having some more made. We'll talk about that in the new year. But if you're curious about that, either leave a message in the comments or send me an email. I'll show you my email address here at the bottom of the screen. If you're curious about a hat like that, I'll keep you posted as I start making arrangements. Now, I've also got this cool mug. Let me change the screen here. Oops, that's not what I had in mind. Okay, let me see if I can get this mug in front of the screen. I'm also going to do up a batch of these mugs. Now, I spent a little extra and got black on the inside and on the handle. And if you ask me, I think it really sets it off and makes it classy. And I'm going to be doing a batch of these. If you'd like to order one, leave a comment in the comment section or email me, and I'll keep you posted when I start making that batch. And what I'm probably going to do is have packages where you can either order a hat or a mug or both, and I'll also include a couple of DVDs as well as a sticker. I've got stickers, but they're not within my reach, but I'll leave you in suspense for the next time we go live, and I'll show you some stickers, and maybe by then I'll have packages ready. But let's not delay this any further. Let me cue up the video for Kenneth Young being inducted into the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Here we go.
Kenneth Young, inducted into the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame 2018. Ken raced for the famous Widowmakers racing team. Raced Ski Doo during the 1968-69 season, winning 7 first-place titles at 5 events entered, taking second in points. He switched to Arctic Cat in 1969, earned his first gold bib #1, and went on to win first place in Mod 4 at the first World Series at Rhinelander, Wisconsin in 1970. Ken won 4 first place and 3 second place trophies in 7 events entered, and took a 4th place in Mod 2 at the 1971 World Series in Boonville, New York. Kenny never lost a race he entered in Mod 1, Mod 2, and Mod 3 during the entire 1971-72 season, taking 10 first place wins. He also won in Mod 1 at the 1972 World Series in Ironwood, Michigan. He won all 3 races he entered in the 1972-73 season, including the New York State Championship. At Redfield, New York, on the first lap, in the first race of the 1973-74 season, Ken was injured in a bad crash in turn 3. He retired on the spot. What a record! This is Kenny's son, honor.
Yeah. So I just want to thank everybody for showing up. Thank Midge for dogging us, finding us. And Dad's alive and knows I'm here, and he'll appreciate this very much. So for me and my family, thank you very much.
So there you have it. Ken Young has been inducted into the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Now, that was from the induction ceremony in 2018, and we thank his son for coming there to accept that award for him. Now, if you're not familiar with the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, this is something that's growing very rapidly and becoming a popular thing among the vintage snowmobile set, especially in the eastern states. If you'd like to attend the next ceremony, it's going to be Saturday, September the 11th, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be at Crane's Snowmobile Museum in Lancaster, New Hampshire. Now, the nice thing about this event is it's located at Crane's Snowmobile Museum. So if you get there a little early, you can walk around the museum, check out the sleds. You can also mix and mingle with the attendees. The attendees, of course, are inductees, past, present, and future. And there's a whole lot of vintage enthusiasts there. So a lot of people to network with and visit with and schmooze with. And then, of course, once the ceremony is finished, then we all move over for the after party, just walking distance away at the Lancaster Motel. And it's a wonderful after party. And if you're planning to come from any distance and looking for a place to stay, no other place to stay than the Lancaster Motel, because you can stay at the motel. It's walking distance from the ceremony, and you can be there at the after party, and you can stay there until it winds down, and then just walk to your room and retire for the evening, and yeah, just call it a night. So let's set up our next video. We're going to look at. I'm just trying to find it here on the interface. We're going to look at some of Greg Allen's racing Polarises. Also among these Polarises, he's going to talk about Midge Rosebrook's sled. If you're wondering who Midge Rosebrook was, he's the gentleman in the red shirt that was presenting that award at the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, and he is it was his idea. He is the one that created that Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. So let's go now to the 2020 Crane Snowmobile Museum Vintage Snowmobile Show. Let's meet Greg Allen.
This is Midge's sled, the PDC he got last summer when they got the induction. This is one of mine. This is a beautiful sled. I think this is gorgeous. This might be the winner here today. I'm thinking that's a rare. It's a clone, but it's a beautiful job. The Leighton made it. Nice vintage race sled you're gonna find right there.
Yeah.
And I brought a couple of my own. This is a RXL clone I built. I think the first one I had out was 2015. I got Best of Show here. I still race this. A couple of weeks I got a race with this over in Harrison, Maine.
Yeah.
And then I brought a 77 TXL.
How you doing, Dave?
I raced that up here in the Kilkenny Cup. I got a third place in the senior class for that. So this is one of my favorite sleds, 77 TXL. First year liquid for Polaris. That's kind of like the holy grail of Polaris right there. First liquid motor. This was the fastest year of the TXLs. And then this is just another oval sled. This is just a 250 TX set up for oval racing. Special power on it. Blue tanks. This is the stuff I love right here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, Greg. Okay, so that was Greg Allen at the Crane Vintage Snowmobile Show at Crane Snowmobile Museum in Lancaster, New Hampshire this past February. Now, Paul has this show the first Saturday of February every year, and I was speaking with Paul just earlier this week, and he confirmed that as of now, assuming this COVID business doesn't get any worse, he is planning to go on with that show. So here are the details for that show. This will be the first Saturday in February, which is the 6th of February. The address is 172 Main Street, Lancaster, New Hampshire, I should say. Registration is at 8 a.m. The judging is at noon. And this show is walking distance from the historic Lancaster Motel. So if you're coming from any distance, that's the place to stay. You can park at the motel, walk over to the to the show, and you can even rent snowmobiles at the motel and do a little trail riding while you're there, or you can trailer your own in. But here are the details for the Lancaster Motel if you're thinking of coming to this event. So let's take a look at what's next here. We've got some, we talked about the upcoming Vintage Snowmobile events, the Crane Snowmobile Show. We have confirmation on that. Let's cue up our next video here. This is Loren Kandzior's 1974 Ski Doo TNT.
My name's Loren Kandzior. I'm from Ferrisburg, Vermont. This is my 400 free-air mod. 74 400 free-air Ski Doo, fully studded track, carbide skis. I've got handlebars from a 72 Blizzard on it because the Blizzard original handlebars were wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't like them, so I replaced them with the Blizzard handlebars.
You gave me hell for kneeling on that.
It's got a 102C clutch on it.
We're kneeling on it. I just use mother's rag and wheel polish and rag, and it's going to start with a nice one.
Still has the original
That was a nice one.
Phillips HD carburetors.
Every now and then I have to redo it.
These are the things that you got to get a re-chrome, right?
Nice.
Wait, something in Canada called Deco.
Yeah, that's a sharp sled. Go ahead.
Little Blizzard tag right here. I made that. It's a piece of paper laminated between plastic and glued in there.
That's
So
cool.
in that spot.
Nice. Well, cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that is a really nice example, and it was nice to meet Loren. I believe that was 2019 at the Goffstown, New Hampshire Vintage Snowmobile Show. I think they have that every October 2019, and I'll keep you posted as that is being planned. I'm friends with some of the organizers of that, and I'll keep you posted as that gets a little closer. So we're going to wind down the show here. I wanted to let you know, of course, we have this podcast every Thursday night, and of course, next Thursday is Christmas Eve. The Thursday after that is New Year's Eve. So rather than go live with the typical format, what I'm going to do is next Thursday, I'm going to air the complete induction ceremony of the 2020 Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. So we're just going to air that from beginning to end for all of us to enjoy on Christmas Eve. And then I'm going to do the same thing on New Year's Eve, but instead of the 2020, of course, it'll be the 2019 induction ceremony of the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. So do look forward to that next week and the week after. And again, if you'd like to join us at the next induction ceremony, it is an awful lot of fun. And there's just so much going on between being able to walk around the museum, to look at all the vintage snowmobiles in the museum, to be able to meet and greet and mingle with the inductees, past, present, and future. It's just a great time. And I encourage you to join us. It's in Lancaster, New Hampshire, Saturday, September 11th, 1 p.m. Get there a little early so you can go in the museum and mix and mingle with some of the inductees, past, present, and future, and just a whole host of vintage enthusiasts. It's a great time. And of course, if you're coming from any distance, be sure to stay at the Lancaster Motel. The after party's right there at the motel. Once the party winds down, you can just wander over to your room and call it a night. So that is all I have for you. I'm going to finish with this video, and my apologies. I had a couple of other live guests that were going to come on, but things have come up, and it is Christmas time, so it's hard to plan things this time of year. But I look forward to booking them in the future, in the new year. And if you would like to come on live, or if you know someone who you think should come on live with some interesting sleds or memorabilia or suits and swag, email me. Let me put up my email address. Email me at this email address that you see at the bottom of your screen, and we can make arrangements to have them come on, whether it's you coming on, pardon me, or a friend coming on. I love the idea of this live format. And let me know in the comments if you like this. We saw Jim Leighton earlier in this podcast. Let me know if you enjoy that, because I would like to get to a point where I've got the contacts to be able to have that back to back to back with people coming on here live. I think that's an awful lot of fun. Personally, I'm hoping that you do too. And I want to hear from you one way or another if you like that, or maybe if you're not liking that. But I think it's a great way for us to all have a live experience and be able to engage with each other, because as someone is presenting their snowmobiles, we all can be making comments in the comment section, and then I can ask the questions to the person presenting, and we can get answers immediately in real time. So to me, that's an awful lot of fun and a great way to experience this wonderful hobby of vintage snowmobiles. I'm hoping that you feel the same, and let me know what you feel, whether you agree, don't agree, or have other ideas for the podcast. Please leave me comments, and I appreciate all of the comments that have been left here tonight. Before we close, I'm going to take a last look at the comments, see who else has come on. Patrick Goudreau. Yes, thanks for everything you do. He says, I met Pat Goudreau at the Crane Vintage Snowmobile show last February. Great guy. We had a really nice visit. Brad Curtis says, good old Everest and Kenny kicked the factory's butt back in the day. Yes, he did. Thomas Eichstadt. Oh, yes, what a record Ken had. And Brad Curtis is congratulating Kenny. Okay, Thomas Eichstadt also has a question. What is the chain pitch to a 1969 Panther? So that's a thing you guys can do too. In these comments, if you have comments, questions, any kind of technical questions, just post them here in the comment section. And then also browse the comment section looking to see if you have answers to these questions or if there's anything there that might be of interest to you. We have Ron Loridan from Evanston, Wyoming. John Shorn. He appreciates my efforts, and I appreciate you appreciating my efforts, John. Diane Baker is on, saying, nice job, Mike. Thank you, Diane. Johnny Jensen is on. Gary Ostonsky, first time listening. I appreciate your coming on, Jerry, and I hope it's not your last time. We look forward to having you on here every now and then, hopefully every week if you can do it. Tom Peters, thanks for listening. He said, first time listening, great job, and I thank you for coming on. Thanks, Mike, for a wonderful show. Tom Peters says, I apologize. This as I'm reading the comments, they're bouncing as people are adding new comments, so I end up on the wrong line. John Beckman from Grays Lake, Illinois. Doug Reinstra is on here. I think Doug is a regular. I've seen that name before. And Perry Kemmons. So, yeah, you guys are amazing. I appreciate your coming on and being on here every week. It really means a lot. Yeah, with that, I will wish you all a wonderful Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will catch you on the other side. But if you have nothing better to do on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, look for us here. We're at the same time, same bat channel. We're going to be airing the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. The one for 2020 will be on Christmas Eve. The one for 2019 will be on New Year's Eve. All right. Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll catch you on the other side in the new year.
It's the ultimate combination of simplicity and ingenuity. The newest way to load, unload, and transport your ATV or UTV. The Mad Ramps Pivoting Ramp System. Made in the USA and engineered for strength and durability. Maneuver through tight places and over rugged terrain with plenty of ground clearance. No licensing, no ongoing maintenance costs, and no storage hassles like trailers. Won't slip or move like conventional ramps. Free up more cargo space in the bed of your truck. Securely connects to your truck's receiver hitch. Easily extends for safe loading and unloading. Seamlessly retracts for highway and off-road travel. DOT approved in all 50 states and Canada. Quickly disconnects in under a minute. A unique space-saving storage system. The Mad Ramps Pivoting Ramp System. Go farther. Go faster. Go safer.
When you order using the link in the description, I'll send you 3 free Vintage Snowmobile DVDs. When you order using the link in the description, I'll send you 3 free Vintage Snowmobile DVDs.